Magic.
Had to go and get a ring sewed off my finger on the. Yeah, I was going with a fella in Dublin and gave me a ring and the thing went green. So my finger swelled up. I had to go to Maddie and he was sawing it off. Cheap ring.
But he used to be over there tapping away, and and.
So he was a tinsmith?
Yeah, but you had to go over and get, we say, 6 mugs on tick. And he's getting to you, all right, no problem, but small little fella, he wasn't a big bloke by no means, and tapping away there, you're like a little leprechaun in there, tapping away, and you get he'd make anything for you, plates and mugs and jugs and whatever, He lived he was alongside of
Jack Kelly.
Jack Kelly.
Himself and Jack.
The two of them was great. And you see Maddie closing up the shop.
They'd go over in the afternoon for a drink.
Always afternoon. Yeah. And then they'd be arguing at the front door. Like this and that and what have you.
Oh, yeah.
And they were like chalk and cheese.
Oh, yeah.
They were, but that's the way they were,
What do you think of that?
Just like his father before him, Tom Roach is a tinsmith. He rarely visits his shuttered workshop nowadays, though, but occasionally he's asked for a special favour, like the making of a 3-pane copper lantern, a piece of work which Tom regards as a good example of the skill of his trade. For this job, Tom starts with a plain sheet of copper which he rolls flat. He outlines his work with the aid of templates or patterns, these of his own design, which he afterwards files away until required again. For outline cutting, the tinsmith makes rapid progress with the snips. But where movement is restricted, Tom has to use a variety of tools, which sometimes might appear to be crude, but tradesmen like Tom were not well rewarded and could not afford more sophisticated equipment. 2 openings are made to accommodate the panes of glass, but these sections are left in place until the later stages. Otherwise, the copper sheet will be too weak to work on. Both ends of the copper are folded on a machine, simply called a folder. This will make the job of jointing later on much, much easier. 2 strips of copper, 3 inches by 1.5 inches are cut. These will be used to bridge the 2 ends of the copper at the top and bottom, leaving room for the door in between. The corners are snipped. The 4 sides turned in on the folder. and the two long sides closed by tapping on the anvil. Tom next rolls the sheet of copper into a cylindrical shape between the rollers of the rolling press. A gap is left at the ends to accommodate the door, and the bridging pieces made earlier on are fitted into place at the top and bottom. The folds are locked together by tapping with a hammer. This is a temporary arrangement only, as these key parts will have to be soldered later on. Tom's trade died largely with the introduction of plastic goods, which cannot be repaired but are cheaper to manufacture than goods made from tin or copper. Having cut out a section for the door which will hold the third pane of glass, Tom makes the necessary cutting, but again he leaves the piece in place for the time being. He carries out the usual folding and inserts a wire strip in one fold. This will form part of the door hinge, where a section of the fold has been removed. The fold is hammered over the wire, and all folds which are not required for jointing are closed by hammering. As well as repairing large and small metal objects from creamery cans to tin pennies, Tom also repaired umbrellas, which he called parasols. As copper is very prone to oxidization, it must be thoroughly cleaned before soldering. First the oxide is removed by filing, and then the bare metal exposed by treating with an acid called spirit of salts. The soldering iron is heated in the open fire. Having applied the soldering fluid, the copper is now ready for soldering. Next, the top and bottom of the cylinder are beveled by hammering on the anvil. Placing the cylinder on a sheet of copper, Tom marks out the bottom piece. Then with the compass marks a perfect circle, making allowance for the joining rim. A machine called a jenny is used for making this rim or lip. and the bottom is slipped into place and held in position by tapping with the hammer. As this lantern will not contain liquid, soldering will not be required here, and sealing of the bottom is carried out by very close hammering on the anvil. As the dome of the lantern will be a cone-shaped, a semicircular piece of copper is used in this case. The centre is punched out and the cone is shaped by hand on a hatchet stake. It's a difficult task to get the two folds to interlock. But when he succeeds, Tom quickly hammers them home. Having made a rim or lip on the bottom edge of the cone with the jenny, the top lip of the cylinder is pared down to the correct size. Again, having got the cone in place, it's lightly tapped with the hammer to hold it there. Then it's firmly secured on the anvil. As the lantern is lightweight, a carrying handle to accept a few fingers is fixed to the top. The window sections have been raised out. Tom tries a pane of glass for size, and a perfect fit. The door hinge and clasp sections are next soldered into position. All windows now having been fitted with covers at top and bottom, a final check would indicate that everything here is secure. A good deal of elbow grease is all that's required to make the lantern ship shape. Toiling, rejoicing, sorrowing, onward through life he goes. Each morning sees some task begun, each evening sees its close. Something attempted, something done, has earned a night's repose.